Well, David Papp is an independent technology expert, and let's talk to him about this. He joins us from Edmonton in Canada. Good to see you. David, how do companies like Facebook, Twitter, Google currently moderate police content? Or is it really, honestly, essentially a complete free-for-all?
Unfortunately, it isn't a free-for-all because you have to keep in mind that those companies are still liable currently for anything such as illegal material or harassment and that kind of information dissipated on their platform. So they're already monitoring the content that's being pushed out. And there's been recently in the past all the accusations over the fake news that have affected prior elections. And of course, now with the election looming, they're all concerned about the anti-conservative biases and all sorts of accusations affecting the current elections on those platforms and whether some of their posts are being censored or not.
Well, let's pick that up, as you mentioned it. Mr. Trump's Facebook page, I think, has 32 million followers or something like that, which I think is nearly 10 times more than his Democratic challenger in the election, Joe Biden. I mean, if the accusation is that Facebook suppresses right-wing content, it doesn't seem to be very good at it, does it?
No, not at all. And honestly, this is a monumental task to be watching all of the content on a platform from the billions of people around the globe in order to decide what should be published and what isn't. And that's the whole purpose behind Section 230 is the internet has honestly flourished because of Section 230. It's this freedom of expression on the internet. And the minute that they become liable to regarding the content that appears on their platform, well, now they're going to have the giant tech companies have the money, but they're going to have to create huge departments of people to review and moderate that content. And honestly, I don't see that working.
The thing is, I think if you're my age, you remember all of this 20 years ago and loads of newspaper editors being called in front of politicians and television executives. There's nothing new about this. This is about who controls free speech, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the giant tech companies who control these huge social media platforms are mostly based out of the US, and with the elections there and the current campaigning that's occurring, there's a lot of influence. But I mean, let's not forget that these platforms do need to adhere. It's multi-jurisdictional, right? There was the entire GDPR that occurred with the privacy laws that came into effect with Google and Facebook and Apple, and that had a huge impact. But now we're talking about actual content that's being published on these platforms, and I think what's happening is we're really concerned about free expression, the internet, the core of the internet being challenged right now if they get rid of Section 230.
David, we shall no doubt return to this in coming weeks, but for the moment, David Papp in Canada, thank you very much indeed.